Hi guys, thank you so much for the the concern that you expressed over my my video from yesterday, where I mentioned that I took a long time to produce a video, like I guess a period of 12 hours. I was recording, and then I would re-record and re-record and re-record, and then I had even started the editing process, and I said nah, because I wanted to make sure that I struck the right note, and because it just wasn't where I wanted to be at that particular time, I said, you know what, take a nap. And I woke up and I tried again, and I said, nope, take a nap. So I went back to sleep, and I was able to clear a few things up, because I don't ever want to be that person that creates that endless string of whataboutisms, because that makes me look defensive. And I don't ever want my defensive posture to be any kind of reflection upon the Sussexes, because they're in a position of power right now. They are in a very tremendous position of power. And so for anyone to suggest that the Sussexes are somehow floundering because the nasty, tabloid press is saying these things, nothing could be further from the truth. Anytime someone creates an itemized list of the price of everything that you wore on a particular day, you are the SHIT. Really, you are. So there's no need to have doubt about my intentions or how I'm feeling. And surely we should not doubt the Sussexes. Just look at where they are right now. Remember, these are the people who were given that 1-year review to see if they could possibly make it, to give them a chance to come crawling back into the Windsor household so that KP could put their foot on their neck again. But that didn't happen. And thank goodness for that. Thank goodness they got outside of that place. That was a horrible place to be for two very strong, hardworking, ethical people like the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And so the only hand that they have to play is to play footsie with the tabloid press and the royal rotor to see if they can find some kind of way to muddy them up. But they're in the United States, and we don't care. Yeah, you might have these darlings in the right wing, but they will come back to bite you. They always do. So yeah, that's the only hand they have to play in the U.S. is the right-wing media. But other than that, nothing. They've got nothing. Well, this will probably, as I'm recording this, there's a trend on social media right now. Actually, I see it on Twitter, where they say that the Queen has crossed over to the other side to join Philip. And that, of course, is unsubstantiated and most likely is not true. Why they believe that is the case, I don't know. But someone started this trend on social media, and so you'll probably hear about that tomorrow. They've done the same thing with other famous people, and that, of course, it didn't pan out to be true in any case. So there would be all kind of activity going on at this hour if that was the case, and so I don't suspect it's true. So I just had this weird thought that whoever started this vicious rumor, I'm thinking to myself, now who would stand to gain? What kind of person would start such a rumor about Her Majesty the Queen, and why would they, who would do that? And then I thought, I don't know. Maybe someone close to her? But it's not true. Trust me, it's not. It would be like all kind of stuff going on if that was the case. And so, yeah, she'll go and communicate with the horses first thing in the morning. As usual, that's the people that she relates to the most, is the dogs and the horses. Now, the only thing that I could think of that could have led to this confusion is you have The Walking Dead is trending. At the same time, so maybe that's the only thing I could think of. Otherwise, why would someone think that the Queen has crossed over? I mean, she still has $88 billion. That's a reason to wake up in the morning. The only other thing that would lead me to believe that someone the only other thing that would lead me to believe that someone thought that was true is maybe they caught a glimpse of the Duchess of Cornwall like haunting her vegetable patch, and if they caught a glimpse of the Duchess of Cornwall like strutting around Highgrove, that would lead someone to believe that there was some type of passing. But other than that, why would somebody think that the Queen was gone? Because the Queen and the Duchess of Cornwall look like they're the same age, that has nothing to do with it. So this is kind of unrelated to anything, but I won't even give this person's name, but they have found a reporter who is, I guess, unquestionably of mostly African descent, I would imagine. I don't know. But I guess she's British, and she sounds very posh. Very, I guess you'll say media ready. In other words, I guess I'm beating around the bush, but they found someone who seems to have the most credibility when it comes to her criticism of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. There are so many people chasing the bag, as they say. They have to get that money, no matter what it takes. And so after finding someone who was willing to say what needed to be said, looking as though they, have the most authority to say it, is a tactic that they use on the other side. We get a lot of that here in the U.S. I mean, that explains Candace Owens. We get a lot of that here in the U.S., as though they have the unimpeachable reputation that they are able to, even though a lot of these people, you don't know their names, you'll never know their names, they'll never mean enough to anybody to be important. And so since they couldn't make it on one side, they crossed over where you don't really have to have a lot of credentials or experience, you just have to say what needs to be said. This is how you get a former editor of Vogue magazine to critique the corner of one room of a $14 million home or £11 million mansion, whatever they call the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's Montecito home. This is how you get someone of that stature to go after them. It's because they have hit rock bottom. They have hit rock bottom and they have no place else to go. So at that case, they'll say, yeah, just give me the money. And then they'll say whatever needs to be said. So it's not important, but I just thought I would point that out. I when you live long enough, you see someone like this and you say, I ain't surprised. So whether it's Condoleezza Rice or, I guess in this case, this person, you always have someone who's willing to do what needs to be done. All I can say is enjoy your 15 minutes, honey. I love the way they matched up a couple of photos where it looks like she's really telling them a thing or two. The only thing is she has such a small audience to speak to. and it's not likely to get much bigger. And have you noticed that these very hateful people, they put this so, I always call it the Tucker Carlson face, where they just look so annoyed and so upset and horrified by the events going on with this particular person or that person. And that's the face that they have to wear when they're in front of the camera. But when they get that check, when they are compensated, I tell you, I'm sure the corners of their mouth is touching their ears. They're so happy. Two of the more interesting notices that I have found, actually, you guys, I'm just venting right now. I don't want you to think that I have given up the fight, so I'm just going to talk about a few things that I love to point out to people at this moment, is that the British royal family is actually losing ground. That's why everything is in such a fever pitch, and they are afraid that the death knell is Prince Andrew. That's what they're afraid of. Like, for instance, through crowdsourcing, they have started a billboard campaign, which is, incredible to see. And it's the In the Monarchy. Hashtag In the Monarchy. They have raised over £20,000. Their target is £30,000 to put up billboards to get rid of them. They get rid of those parasitic vipers once and for all. And the other thing is TripAdvisor. You would think that people would be so excited about being on the grounds of Buckingham Palace, which, really should be a public park, but they should be so excited about being on the grounds of Buckingham Palace that nothing else on God's green earth matters to them but being at Buckingham Palace. Well, I tell you, I drank the Kool-Aid before. I've visited Windsor Castle. I've also visited the Tower of London, Kensington Palace. Those are just a few of the places that I have visited. Of course, the Westminster Abbey, I've actually made 2 trips there. So I've drank the Kool-Aid. But I'm just a tourist, and those are curiosities for me, right? But there is actively a campaign of billboards going up against the monarchy. But the idea of inviting people to Buckingham Palace, and then they go on TripAdvisor and literally takes a torch to the place, well, figuratively take a torch to the place, advising people don't waste your time. That is miraculous. I would have never thought it. Which lets you know that this idea of absolute deference to the crown is slowly eroding. And people are waking up. And the idea that the Queen has decided that she is going to send a signal of support to Andrew by letting him keep his, the Grenadier Guards or whatever it is, that he's able to maintain that titled position or whatever the heck you call it. Is that really a good move, Lizzie? Is that really what you want to do at this point in time? This is the same queen that has gone to war against a child. Even if it was a war of proxy, she has gone to war against an infant, her own flesh and blood. And I don't think this is considered to be the first time that's happened. Some of you all are very much concerned about things going on in Haiti, as well as in the Afghan situation. I'm not even sure what we're supposed to call that, but it is a crisis. And the Archwell Foundation has pledged to help. And so I guess what I would recommend for you to do, if you're trying to figure out which direction to go on the Archwell page. And if you go to just go to like the first thing that pops up on the Archwell page, and it has a message from the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, right? Well, after that, you'll see that there is the statement that they made about their concern for the crisis and everything that the tabloid press has been attacking them for. But forget about that and just scroll your way down, and you'll find where it says ways to help. And there they have listed the World Central Kitchen, Women for Afghan Women, Afghan Aid, Mercy Corps, and Invictus. So those are the several agencies that are listed. And of course, World Central Kitchen, I do believe that the Sussexes opened up a kitchen or partnered for one in Haiti. So explore the Archwell page and get, I guess, comfortable with it, because if you want to make sure that whatever donations or aid that you want to forward to these individual countries, that you go through the Archwell page just to make sure that you find the correct link and that you don't find anything that's bogus or fraudulent. So use the Archwell page. Don't neglect yourself. Don't neglect the page. Use the Archwell page, because it's the best way to make sure that you're being routed in the right direction. So, because people ask sometimes, how can I help, or I'm not sure. Well, this makes it easy for you. The Sussexes has made it very easy for you. And so that way there won't be any mistakes. Now, the Duchess of Cornwall, she decided that with camera crew at her beck and call, she would make a contribution, and that was exposing us to her garden. Dry patches and all. She explained to us how the rodents were eating away at her crops, her vegetables, her whatever it was she mentioned, I guess her squash or whatever. Yeah, she took us into her garden. And believe me, I thought I was going to turn into a pillar of salt. I'm still here. Oh, gosh. Well, if you've seen that video, I'm sure that your life will never be the same again. Anyway, I'm up in the middle of the night. My sleep pattern has been off for like days, but here I am. So I have rambled on for 20 minutes about something and nothing for 20 minutes straight. So make of it what you will, but I got some stuff off my chest, and that's important. And hopefully I may have touched on some things that you were thinking about. But worry not, everybody, because the Sussexes are rising. They are doing incredibly well. And in spite of all of the distractions that they're throwing in their direction, they are continuing to make an impact on the world stage. So believe me, this is only just the start. But the involvement that they're showing right now, this is what actual modern working royals should do. They should not, retreat into the safety of their duty of cutting ribbons and such. They should get out there amongst the people, because that's where people are needed the most. And if the royals want to show some type of leadership and show that they are more than just these weird tourist traps, they need to get out there. That is what's going to make them relevant. But they can only try to live by the example of the Sussexes. There's no shame in that. You have to do what you need to do to survive. And believe me, the Cambridges have been doing their best. The only problem is they don't really like each other's company, and it shows. But they're doing their best to try to be relevant and to try to be more and more like the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, even though they would never admit to that. But that's why they keep trying to use the media to hitch their wagon to all things Sussex, because that chemistry that the Sussexes have is genuine, and that works. But for the Cambridges, it's very disingenuous, and people can see right through it. So Anyway, that's it. Enjoy your Sussex Sunday, because I know you guys will probably link up on the Sussex Squad podcast. Hopefully I won't sleep through it, but if I do, I'll be there in spirit, believe me.